Nigerian journalist Dr. Kemi Lawrence. It's Wednesday, the 30th of October, 2024. Let's talk about Portable and the latest on the ground with his kids. Well, you see what's happening on Portable's page with the baby mamas, the wives, and whatnot. There's a lot of kids. But the whole situation with the schooling issue is now becoming very, very crucial. First of all, everybody sees Portable out there doing one thing or another, but mostly fighting people, beating people, just performing a lot of acts that are not good for his children's mentorship. But right now, we have a new problem with the children themselves. The school is telling the wives and the baby mamas that the children are not doing well in school. And one particular school is actually saying that this is because the children don't speak English. So my post last night on Facebook, you can go to my Facebook at Kemi Talks and read the comments. It's very viral. If you can read 800 comments or whatever is there, it's a lot of comments. I'm getting notifications to read these comments. Portable's children can't speak English. The school says they aren't doing well because of a language barrier. What should he do? Now, since when did English become a language barrier? These children are coming to school and speaking in Yoruba. Even me that I'm doing this video, I'm speaking in English. And on Portable videos, I never speak English because I know Portable only speaks Yoruba most of the time. He does understand English and speak it, but he doesn't use the language. Which brings me to what I really want to do with this story. Okay, I honestly I can't keep up with these kids. There's so many of them. This is just like some of them. A lot of people on my Facebook are now saying English is a borrowed language. Let him send his kids to Yoruba speaking schools or get them an English teacher. Do you agree with this guy? Another guy says if they teach them English now, how would Portable communicate with the children? Now this one's funny. Because people think Portable doesn't even understand English. Okay, Elvis Smith says let him give them out to a reliable parent that can raise them. Portable's I cannot laugh, oh, I have a cold though. Portable is a forbidden and useless person. Now, others says which one be good English again? Language where no be their mother tongue. We hear this all the time. People say that English is not our mother tongue, but the Nigerian society speaks English as an official language. People, the British rule does. Apostle says, if I wasn't a pastor, I have said it's none of my business. But based on, say, I like Zazu small, I would recommend he and his wife start to speak English at home to the kids. If that didn't work, the kids should be shipped out to a standard school far away. Okay, that's what the pastor said. I'm going to tell you what I think. Somebody said, were they born British? I replied to this guy, nobody cares where they were born. Stupid comment. The school has an official language. That means the school that the children are going to is a failure too. A school is supposed to be a place for children to learn English, and it's true. Look at the people that studied English in university. David Honda, he studied English and writing. Daily Momodu, the magazine editor, studied English. Can you imagine the teachers in school? They still went to study it in university. Okay, so let me tell you what I think, my opinion of this. Okay, here's the deal. What I think Portable should do is to actually get a teacher after school to teach the kids English. You cannot stop a parent from speaking the indigenous language when they come back from school. You know what I mean? And this is why we people that have American children, our children cannot speak our language, but they understand everything we're saying. That's how my son Rich KJT is. He understands everything. One day, Rich KJT actually spoke in Yoruba, and we were stunned. I captured it on tape. I looked for the tape. And they don't really speak it all the time, but they understand. There are people like that. Someone like me, I don't speak Igbo, but I understand everything. But when I now opened my mouth and did an Igbo commercial for the NDLEA, everybody's like, oh my God, Kemi actually speaks and understands Igbo. That's the same thing. Same with Spanish, French, other languages. Now, let me just tell you this. In 1973, there was a mandatory thing in the Nigerian Ministry of Education that all schools must teach an indigenous language French or the local language. That's how it was done. Alliance Francaise is still in Nigeria. Mike Adenuga of Glow runs that. When Macron came to Nigeria in 2019, the president of France, he went to Alliance Francaise to visit. They give us money and we teach children French. Because French, I think, is a standard language that all African children should speak. Because French colonized a lot of areas, though. And when you really look at it, some countries are still speaking French. Ivory Coast, Togo, even some parts of Cameroon. So during that time, it was either French or Yoruba. So everybody had to choose. I chose French, and that's why I'm fluent in French. That's why I was able to speak French in Canada, Haiti, everywhere. So I speak French, read and write, speak everything very well because I took it at an earlier language. Now let's go to those people that picked Yoruba. The people that picked Yoruba also speak English and Yoruba, but why would I go learn Yoruba when it's been spoken in the house? Do you understand what I'm saying? But there was a downside to it. I don't know if you know this, but many people don't know. I cannot read or write Yoruba at all. When people write Yoruba in my comments, I always tell them to translate because I don't know what they wrote. I tried in 2019 to try and learn how to read and write Yoruba, and I used BBC Yoruba because they called me. Someone called me from BBC Yoruba in Ikoyi at the BBC headquarters and said, Auntie Kemi, ẹ̀yin lẹ ń sọ Yoruba báyìí. Ẹ wá ṣe interview pẹ̀lú wa now. Hey, free interview. No publicity is bad publicity. BBC. I said, yeah, now come and pick me up. Whatever I gbé mi mo dé lọ BBC office ní Ikoyi. You know that Yoruba interview on BBC Yoruba that you guys saw? It was a profile interview. BBC sat me down and asked me anything they wanted. What I think about Biafra, what I think about Sunday Igboho, what I think about my dad, why I fight my dad, why am I going to go to politics, who am I dating? You know that interview now, the really viral one. The most important part of that interview was everybody made it viral because the fact that they were seeing me speaking in Yoruba and they had no idea. So at one point in the interview, I told the interviewer I can't even read it or write it. When I write Yoruba, it's phonetic. You know what phonetically means? If I'm going to write Were, I'm going to put Werey. The Y is not really there in real life. The mark is Do, Re, Mi. It's hard for me. You know what I mean? So I can't really read it well. Everything is phonetic. If you see me writing Yoruba, it's just phonetically. What I heard, I write it down. So I'm still not very good. I gave up. I'm not learning to read or write Yoruba. I can only speak it. So when I speak it, this was the time when the government said one should pick their local language or French. So there were some Igbos who picked French, and today they can't even speak or read or write Igbo well. Some of them can because they spoke it in their house. So this one's a tough one. What do you think? Write in the comments. Should Portable send his children to a teacher for English classes after school? Because now the children are now becoming a foreigner. If you go to Istanbul, Turkey, or parts of China, they're looking for people that can teach English. And it's a lot of money, but because of my age, I can't be traveling to China and Turkey now at 60 because I'm going to teach English. Big money, and they're paying in dollars. So if you can get to Turkey or Istanbul and you speak English well, you might want to look into that area online. But they're looking for a lot of. A friend of mine's wife just moved to China. Imagine they live in the UK. The husband they're Ghanaians. The husband is doing business in Ghana and UK, and the wife has taken the kids. They moved to China because of what's it called? English dollar money from the Chinese. So if you can teach English, you can. But I don't want these kids to be a foreigner in their own country. We're an English speaking country because the British ruled us. Portable ṣe ti gbọ́ nǹkan tí mo sọ fún ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn èmi tí mo dúró èmi ò lè ka Yorùbá mi ò dẹ̀ lè kọ́ because French first wọn ní ká choose ni French lèmi kọ́ but àwọn ọmọ ò lè ṣe èbó tí wọn bá lè sọ òyìnbó lọ́gbà teacher lesson fún ọ kúkú lówó gbé tó ń jà kiri up and down the place yẹn káwọn ọmọ ẹ máa ní problem by àwọn school teachers sọ pé gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ò ṣe dáadáa ní school because English náà fi ń kọ́ wọn school now wọ́n máa kọ́ history geography gbogbo ilé science English náà fi ń kọ́ wọn lọ́gbà teacher lesson fún àwọn ọmọ ìṣó ti gbọ́ Portable o kò má lè fọ ọkàn ẹnì kankan báyìí tó gbé sínú hospital yẹn lọ sọ gbogbo bíìlì ẹ parí ẹ̀ síbẹ̀ Dr. Kemi ló ń sọ̀rọ̀.